When Americans think of gold rushes, they think of California. 1849, Sutter's Mill. But the first American gold rush started much earlier, in a place called Little Meadow Creek. With a single find so valuable, you could stop working for a decade. The family who found it, however, they used it as a doorstop. The story begins in Germany in the 1770s. Around 30,000 German soldiers called Hessians were shipped to America to fight for the British. Mercenaries, rented out by their own princes. One of them was a young man named Johannes Reed. Reed's regiment fought in Georgia, but in June of 1782, he walked away from his post outside Savannah and disappeared. About 1 in 6 Hessians did the same, deserting a war they had no stake in. He reinvented himself as a farmer named John Reed, settled in North Carolina, and spent the next 20 years growing crops on top of one of the biggest gold deposits in the eastern US, all without a clue. Until one Sunday morning in 1799, Reed's 12-year-old son Conrad skipped church that morning and went fishing in Little Meadow Creek. But instead of a fish, he pulled a 17-pound yellow rock out of the water. Nobody in the family had any idea what it was, so they put it on the floor and used it to prop the door open. For 3 years. In 1802, Reed finally took it to a jeweler in Fayetteville. Knowing exactly what it was, the jeweler asked him to name a price. $3.50, Reed said. About a week's wages. A real score, he thought. Not knowing the gold was worth 1,000 times more. Reed eventually got a more reasonable compensation. But the real value for Reed was that he now knew there was gold in his creek. So in 1803, he went back with 3 partners, a plan, and a workforce, most of them enslaved. Before the first season was over, a man named Peter pulled a 28-pound gold nugget from 6 inches below the creek bed, the largest ever found east of the Mississippi, worth over $2 million today. It is said Peter was offered a walnut-sized piece as a reward, but declined, because he thought it was a joke. News of Reed's gold spread fast. Farmers all across the region started digging up their creeks, and they found gold. Everywhere. Within decades, 56 mines were operating in North Carolina. Around 30,000 people worked there, the vast majority of them enslaved laborers. For 45 years, North Carolina produced more gold than any other state in America. 50 years before California, before the 49ers, before Sutter's Mill. And today, almost nobody knows. This was the first American gold rush.